guys, I hope everyone is doing okay today. So here's a few features and updates I'd love to see being added to Dress to Impress sometime in the future, and I have a feeling that some of these features could possibly change Dress to Impress in some way. But before I begin, I want to mention two things. First of all, you guys, credits to Forever Sparks. In case you don't know who they have created so many different concepts for Dress to Impress over on TikTok and YouTube, and this video is inspired by them. And a little reminder that I am obviously not part of the development team for Dress to Impress, so I have no control over what is being implemented into the game. I am just like a regular Dress to Impress player, Dress to Impress enthusiast, whatever you want to call it, and I have zero influence on what is added to the game. Additionally, the ideas I'm going to be sharing with you guys today may not 100% be original. There's definitely a plethora of different people who have mentioned this or thought of this idea before, so I'm just going to be sharing with you guys some of the ideas I came up with. Alright, so the first update I love to see inside of the game is the ability to clear your makeup. So this would obviously only be applicable to those who have custom makeup, because with custom makeup you build your own face. So obviously you add the eyes, the eyebrows, the blush, bronzer, whatever, right? But guys, when you're playing Dress to Impress for a few hours, it gets a little bit annoying having to find the correct toggle and clear it if you don't want it anymore. And in general, it just feels like I'm wasting a lot of time with custom makeup, especially if I want to do a face that I haven't saved before, so I have to make it from scratch. So the way this feature would work is there would be like a trash icon or something next to the custom makeup section, and if you clicked on it, you'd get a little warning asking if you want to fully take off your makeup, and obviously if you press yes, it would give you a blank slate to work on, just like you had when you first joined the game. I don't know about you guys, but I just personally prefer working on a blank slate when I'm putting on custom makeup, and I just hate having to try to find the blush that I just put on, click on it, and then click on X. Like, that is just frustrating for me. So the second feature I'd love to see is increasing the item limit, and I know that this is an idea that a lot of people have been bringing up, you guys, and I totally agree. I think this should be a feature instead of Dress to Impress. However, I have a twist of my own. But before I mention, you guys, I do want to say that this idea was already mentioned to the devs like a while ago, but the reason why the item limit is capped at 18 is due to a lot of concerns. Obviously, the more items you have on, the more it will like maybe for you or other players that have a weaker device. So to just sort of prevent this, I guess they're just putting on this 18 item cap. But my idea is that the devs should implement a new game pass which would increase the item limit to like 23 or something, or maybe 25. I just don't think anyone would need to put on like 40 items at once. So I think 23 or like 25 is the nice sweet spot. So now there's going to be a hot take, and I really want you guys to let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. But the game pass should be a little bit expensive so that less people are able to get it, which might also reduce the amount of players possibly abusing this feature. Because obviously if the game pass is like 50 Robux or something, which is a little bit reasonable, however, if it is like really cheap, anyone will be able to afford it, and anyone can utilize it to troll in these servers. For example, putting on just a random amount of dresses and just things that would like players, especially players that have weaker devices. And so I think the game pass is a little bit expensive. Less people are able to get it, meaning less people are able to abuse this feature. My third idea is the ability to hide players in the server. So this is definitely a sentiment that we can all share, but basically you could be doing like your makeup or like putting up some hair or something, coloring your jewelry, I don't know, but the next thing that you know is just some random person is blocking your view, whether that is with the intention to aggravate you and annoy you and just troll and attempt to be funny, or simply because they're not paying attention. And this is definitely something that I've done to people. I'm just not paying attention, like the timer is almost up and I'm still coloring my items, so it's likely I'm not paying attention, and next thing I know is that I blocked someone's view. So the way I think this feature should work is that in the settings on the left hand side there should be like a little icon of either an eye or a Dress to Impress character, and if you click on it, it will hide all the players regardless of what server you're in. So for example, let's say that you are in a free play mode and you just want to like practice your outfit or something, but there's so many people just dressed up as Lana or something and it's like annoying you, you can just hide them in that server too. You can also hide them in a regular server. However, obviously when it's time to go on the runway, you will automatically be able to see other players, so it would automatically switch off when it's time to go onto the runway. So I think this is my fourth idea, I'm not too sure, but this brings me onto this new idea, which is hiding specific players only. So let's say that there's someone doing something like very inappropriate and they're like the only ones trolling, they are hiding people's view or something, I don't know. You just want to hide that one specific person because you don't want to hide all players because maybe you're playing with a friend or something. Then this feature would be like the best thing ever. So similar to how the other idea was, you'd go into your settings on the left hand side, and when you hover over the eye icon, a little search bar would pop up, and in there you can write like the first 3 or 4 letters of someone's username, and that way you can hide that specific user only. So this next idea is actually an idea that I've heard a lot of people actually talk about and suggest, but it is a login streak. So it's very similar to Bloxburg. Basically you log in every single day, and as a reward you will get like some in-game currency or maybe some stars. And I have seen a lot of people suggest stuff like new hairstyles, sets, new makeup, and just stuff along those lines when you reach like day 5 or maybe like day 20. But I just personally think that this idea is too unrealistic. Not only that, it might pose a problem for players who actually take advantage of the login streak feature, because if Dress to Impress did give us like a new set and hairstyles when we reach like day 30 or something, and we lose that streak and then we try to regain that streak again, it is very likely that players would get annoyed if they get the exact same hairstyle, so things would just be repetitive. And with that being said, we have to take the devs into consideration because it would put a massive strain on the Dress to Impress development team, taking into consideration how frequently they add things to the game like new items, hairstyles, and just how much they're already working on the game behind the scenes. And so I think the expectation to constantly be creating new sets or hairs just so that words are not repetitive would just be like a huge strain on the developers. So I'm not too sure how I feel about that idea. However, if the developers were to add it to Dress to Impress, I would personally just love for the login streak to only contain like in-game currency and possibly a few stars, and it can pivot between the two each day. However, I definitely want to know what you guys think about this idea because there's been so many different opinions on this. And the final idea I want to mention to you guys is walking packs instead of Dress to Impress. So this is inspired by Sims 4. I love that game so much, but if you haven't played that game before, in The Sims 4, when you're creating a sim, which is like just another word for creating a virtual character, you can actually choose how they walk. So let's say that you're creating a sim and that sim is actually a model in your story. You can make them walk confidently and almost walk like a model, if that makes any sense, instead of having all sims walking the same way and just having the same animation too. Now I know this isn't Sims, obviously, but considering this is a dress-up game and you can walk on the runway, I think that we should have something similar to The Sims 4, and the way that this would work inside of Dress to Impress is similar to when you buy poses. So you can buy walking packs, and when you equip a specific walking pack, you will walk that way in the game, and obviously you can change them at any time that you want to. However, the problem is that I'm not too sure if this is actually going to work inside of Dress to Impress, because I assume they'd have to ensure that each piece of clothing that we have inside Dress to Impress stretches correctly on the characters depending on what walking pack they have. So this is the only problem that I could think of about this. But once again, you guys, I want to remind you that I am not involved in the development of Dress to Impress. I am just a Dress to Impress enthusiast, and I don't have any influence on what gets added to the game, so it is not confirmed that these ideas will be added to the game, so please keep that in mind. Anyway guys, let me know down below if you have any of your own ideas and features you'd love to see added to Dress to Impress. But besides that, you guys, I hope all of you guys are doing okay, and I will see you in my next video.